Peter, thank you so much for taking some time out to have a quick chat with me. I understand that things are probably a little bit hectic and weird right now with everything that is happening in the country and the world as well.
And certainly is some very interesting times that we're going through. So I'm sure that everyone that will be viewing this and all the people in the real estate industry as it is are all going through the same sort of pain as we all are.
Yeah, yeah. And how, with yourself, how have you kept yourself sane? What is your daily routine right now, just to keep yourself working, managing this thing?
It's really, to be honest with you, I haven't had much time to think otherwise. Obviously, we sort of got a little bit of a lead into before we went into lockdown, and I suppose that started many meetings from our support centre to make sure that our people were safe. And then we went into lockdown, and just before lockdown, we obviously had midnight that Wednesday when we went into lockdown. Well, I drove down to the Coromandel where I'm based at Cook's Beach,
Right.
and I been down here in our bubble at Cook's Beach, and that's most probably my sanity is you look out at the water every day, you're able to walk along the beach, but most of the time during the week has been on something new that I hadn't been on before, called Zoom meetings or Google Hangouts, and it's been interesting times, but it's something new that we've had to work through. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah. And obviously, when you're in Auckland, there's a lot of meetings, a lot of driving around. Has that, not having to drive around to meeting, having computer meeting, has that made your life a little bit easier or harder?
If you talk to my wife, it's most probably made it harder because I've been sort of on meetings. We have a daily hookup with the fellow directors and CEO early in the morning, sort of 8 o'clock, 8:30. And then basically I'm in Zoom meetings almost right through the whole day, finishing 6 or even 7 o'clock a couple of times. So it most probably hasn't made it easier, but it's just the environment. It's a different way of things, so it's still new in your mind, and you just have to get through it.
Yeah. And obviously the industry right now is sort of being put on hold, or everything is in sort of a pause situations. Salespeople, property managers are not allowed to do any work that involves meeting people right now. Has that affected the company in any way, or how do you see that affecting?
Oh, sure. Obviously we've gone from an average of 330 sales a week through February, March, down to I think it's about 35, 40 sales this week. We are still making sales, and that's the credit to our salespeople that are just working through customers, and there's some vendors that are needing to sell, and they're working their client database to see if sales are available. So it is a significant drop, but there is a light at every tunnel, and now that we know what level 3 is, and we're waiting for further clarification from the government on that as we speak. But it does look like we're hoping that we will be able to have private viewings at least under level 3, but we are confirming that still yet to happen.
Yeah. And once, and this is me asking you to look through your crystal ball and predict the future of what might happen. But looking into, or your thoughts into the near future about how the market may react once the level is reduced, or once things go to being semi-normal again. What are your thoughts? How would things pan out?
I suppose people have to look at it as medium term, not short term or long term, but they need to look at real estate as medium term. I'm talking both vendors, buyers, and even our salespeople. There is going to be a drop in price, I think, initially, But as we've found through many disasters that we've worked through, global financial, Barfoot Thompson's 97 years old, so we've been through 2 world wars, depression, and many other instances where the market fell right away. Generally, prices did fall straight after, and but they rebounded again after about 12 to 18 months. So, we can't predict today what's going to happen, but if we look at the past, that's what I'm expecting will happen.
Yeah, yeah, great. And if we do go change levels in a week's time or even less than that, what are recommendations for salespeople that the company is implementing, or your thoughts about giving them the ability to stay safe while still doing their work? Or obviously, possibly no open homes, but what else?
Yeah, the important thing I think that we need to get the message across is that the Real Estate Institute, working with REA, and they also involved a large number of the industry leaders, and we're coming up with a plan of what salespeople can and cannot do. The important thing is that when this is issued, and it's not finalised yet, we're hoping to have something out early next week, once we've had clarification back from the government, as I earlier said. But the important thing is that we all comply to what is required. We don't know for definite that we are able to go back selling. That's our first point. And once we've got that, we believe we will be able to. We certainly won't be able to do open homes, and we won't be able to do live auctions. But certainly, I think what we've found by being in lockdown, a lot of us have introduced virtual means of signing up documents, virtual viewings, virtual appraisals, and obviously online auctions. And I think those are going to be things not only just for level 2 and level 3, but may even come into our business practices permanently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we focused a little bit more so far on sales, but Barfoot Thompson's got a massive property management side as well. What are the effects with them? Because again, it will make it harder for them to meet people as well.
Yeah, again, it's going to be very similar. I think what we are going to see is there's going to be a slight relaxation of the levels, and we will be able to carry on business in some form. Obviously, level 3, as the Prime Minister said, is like a sitting room at a doctor's surgery. It's only going to be a short term that we'll be in level 3, but it's the period to see that if we're doing things right, we'll go down to level 2. If we don't behave and we're slapped over the hands and the virus is seen to be coming back, then we'll find ourselves going back into lockdown, which none of us want.
Yeah.
I think the important thing with both level 2 and level 3 is, but both the rentals and sales, is there will be activity, and that's all we ask for, is having the chance to introduce people to property, both in sales and rentals.
Yeah, yeah. And with this situation, there's a lot of confusion, a lot of some situations, people that are not too sure of what to do and how to act. Message of hope or words of hope. What are things that you would tell people to really give them something to look for in the near future?
I think the important thing is we're alive, and we've got another day that we can do business. And I think if you look at the negatives, you'll always be negative. But if we are positive and move forward, we can come through this quicker than what we possibly anticipate. We have only been in a very short time of lockdown of 3 weeks at the stay. But I think we will see most probably, well, we've obviously got 1 more week to go. But once we get back to real estate, there are people that are going to have to buy. There are people that are going to have to sell. People's circumstances are going to be changing. Investors are going to be a different type. Are they going to be looking at trying to get the best deal? there will always be a person that has to have a roof over their head, whether it's buying or selling. So we're in an industry that is a necessity, and we're very fortunate to have that.
Fabulous. Excellent. Peter, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. I know you probably have a lot of a lot more Zoom meetings to jump into, so I shall let you run into them, and have a fantastic day.
Thanks, Gary. And I just say to all the viewers that there's a lot of positives that have come out of being in lockdown. You know, we've had talking with some of our high salespeople that have been frantic and working. They've actually been able to rest and recuperate, but they're ready to go. We've also got vendors and purchasers that are waiting to buy property. So, you know, and the property management, you know, have been the lifeline of many of the branches and companies around New Zealand by bringing the rent in. So, you know, we're in a very good, fortunate position to be in, but it certainly has knocked us, and we will come back. So I just wish everyone all the very best with either the buying and selling, but from our own salespeople, you know, great, you know, they've done well to get through, but now they need to prepare and go out when the market opens up again.
Fantastic. Peter, thank you so much again. Have a
A
fantastic
pleasure.